Welcome everyone to this full moon Sidereal Astrology report. This is for Tuesday, July 19th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so a full moon in Sagittarius here today. This is the top-down view. In fact, this is the second full moon in Sag we've had. The last one was here also. So if you recall, about 30 days ago, at that time, there was this more expansive view. We're seeing possibilities. Hopefully we change some perspectives. We're open to new things. And now, although different, and we'll look at how it's different, same sort of general energy, big picture perspective. And that's what Sagittarius really represents, is that top-down view. And what happens when we have that top-down view is we start to see things in a different way. We start to see that there's other possibilities, there's other potentials. We're not so caught up into the mundane details of things in which we lose sight of that big picture. So we have the big picture. It's a good time to access qualities like optimism because we can see what we haven't seen before. It's a great time to change perspective, to see what's possible, to see new potentials, and to also tap into that adventurous spirit of life, the free-spiritedness that Sagittarius represents. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is different from the last full moon here last month, and that's of course seen by the aspects. Now the first major thing that is different though is that the sun has recently shifted into Cancer. And so there's lately been more of a focus here on the sentimental and emotional side of life, especially with Venus and Mercury here also. So it's still a great time to be connecting with home, to be connecting with family, if that's how it's manifesting. For some of us, focusing on our health, but all in all, just connecting to the emotional side of life. And the type of qualities here that we can gain energy from is caring, nurturing, protecting, reflecting, and perhaps even getting some of that private alone time, which is often seen with these watery signs. All right, so that's the opposition here. It's the focus on the watery side of life, yet there's a lot of fire. Okay, there's this optimistic, big picture, and possible view of life. Now, the specific aspects is that the full moon is going to be squaring up to Uranus in Pisces, trining up to Jupiter and the North Node in Leo, and sextiling up to Chiron and Mars, who have been in a grand trine, but now in this full moon forming a kite with those planets. So starting first with this square up to Uranus. This has been Uranus transiting Pisces, helping us have more freedom in our life, particularly freedom of spiritual acceptance, of calm, of tranquility, asking ourselves where we can have more peace in our life through letting go. So in a square, perhaps we can feel a bit uneasy on one level with this. Maybe there's a bottlenecking kind of energy. We're wanting to make revolutionary change or break through in some sense, or maybe do some sudden things. So it's very important this week and this next 2 weeks to have this extra attention here on the self, to make sure we're not making any rash decisions, we're not acting on these impulses, and to really just have more attention and awareness on ourselves, self-awareness. And it's through that we can keep everything nice and balanced. Now, Uranus is showing us something here. There's information, there's intuition coming through about where we can change our life to have more freedom. So it's a great time to listen to that. It's a great time to challenge ourselves with that. Maybe even take some actions that are uncomfortable, but we can take. I think that's a good way of working with this constructively. All right, so that's the square up to Uranus. Now, in terms of the easier aspects, trines up to Jupiter and the North Node. This is a very nice trine. Jupiter and the North Node have been in Leo, which is about our self-expression this year. If you think about this whole year on a subtle energy, this isn't totally personal because the North Node doesn't involve our personal, our personality. But if you look at our lives, there's been this opportunity to express ourselves, to maybe try new ways of expressing ourselves, maybe to try new interests or hobbies, which is also the domain of Leo. So whatever that is, this full moon is very much supporting this self-expression. All right, so it's a great time right now to do just that, to express ourselves, to try new interests, new hobbies, new things we enjoy. All of that playful, lighthearted energy of Leo is certainly supported. Not to mention the fact that the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter, is in Leo, really emphasizing the self-expressive side to it in a grand trine makes it very nice there. Now, in regards to this kite with Chiron and Mars, this grand trine has been giving us perhaps a bit of confidence this past week, if you've been feeling that. Maybe a bit rejuvenated in some sense. That's been the Chiron energy, a healing to this confidence. And with Mars recently going direct, he's still gaining his momentum over the past couple weeks since his direct, because he's been retrograde before that. This slow and steady moving of energy for taking action, for getting things in motion. And so that's continuing to unfold here in July, that building of momentum. And in a good harmony here with the full moon, an opportunity for that. Now, the sextiles aren't like the trines in which they just sort of happen. They're just sort of openings. But I think there certainly is an opening for taking action, for being independent, being direct, and maybe getting that ball moving in our lives. All right, so that's the full moon in a nutshell. Definitely the emphasis on Sagittarius, which is the big picture, open field, open horizon, seeing what's possible, understanding that our perception of life influences what we allow into our lives. All of this still focusing on the reflective side of life, whether it's reflecting on the past, connecting to our sentiments and those that we're close to, while keeping things balanced if we're feeling a bit like breaking through with that square up to Uranus, but making change to have more peace in our life, spiritual peace. And the trine up to Jupiter North Node, good for self-expression, great for philosophy, spirituality, expanding those horizons, as well as getting things moving, and perhaps a bit of that confidence also. Now, in terms of the aspects, we do have a couple aspects going exact surrounding this full moon. These ones here with the moon are the ones I just covered. But these two, Mercury trining up to Saturn, which started yesterday technically. That's going to go exact here in the morning time for most of us. And also Venus trining up to Saturn. So these two planets trining up to Saturn, very nice to have during this full moon. With Mercury, perhaps we can have a bit of mental stimulation. Maybe it's a good time to work on productive things, particularly productive things that involve our mind or correspondence or communication, I think can be excellent, right? Constructive, mentally grounded with this. Even our communications tend to be nice and grounded also. So very good there for those mercurial things. And then in terms of Venus, Venus is about relationships. Venus is about the things we value in life. So there can be stability with that also. A bit of patience, a bit of grounded enjoyment of things, right? And I think that's a great way of working with it going into tomorrow, which will be exact at that time. All right, but today, definitely that full moon, emphasis on Sagittarius, future possibilities, and changing that perception. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I'll see you tomorrow.